stop for a second. Look at your phone, your career, your choices. You think you're a free individual, right? But Harari has a brutal truth for you. You are an outdated algorithm. Humanism is dying, and the age of Dataism is here. Today, we aren't talking about how humans survived the past. We're talking about why Homo sapiens is being replaced by a new species. Welcome to the end of you and the beginning of Homo Deus.
That is a terrifying way to frame it. But, when you look at the source material we have today, it's not really science fiction anymore.
It feels like it, though. But yeah, it's the logical conclusion of where we're headed.
Totally.
So this deep dive is all about Yuval Noah Harari's Homo Deus, a brief history of tomorrow. And honestly, this book completely rewired how I see the future. Harari basically says the old human agenda, the stuff that kept our ancestors up at night.
Yeah.
It's done. We've kind of cleared the board.
Well, let's be precise about what clearing the board means. Harari's argument is that we've managed to rein in the three great nightmares of history.
Famine, plague, and war.
Exactly. For our ancestors, they were acts of God, uncontrollable forces. But today, they're manageable. They're technical challenges.
Right. And that's the good news we have to start with before we get to the scary cyborg stuff. I mean, statistically, you are far more likely to die from binging at McDonald's today than from a drought or an attack.
It's true. Sugar is more dangerous than gunpowder now.
We actually broke the law of the jungle.
We did, and this is Harari's whole point. History hates a vacuum. We're not just going to sit back and enjoy it. Success breeds ambition. The second we secured our survival, we started looking for the next upgrade.
And it is a massive upgrade. We're not just surviving. We're trying to turn Homo sapiens into God-man. The new agenda is immortality, happiness, and divinity. We're literally trying to engineer ourselves into gods.
And this is where all the ethical alarm bells should start just screaming. Because when you say we are upgrading, who is we, really?
Okay, let's start with the first pillar then. The end of death. Or, I guess, as Harari calls it, immortality.
That's a really crucial distinction. It's not about being invincible.
No, you can still get hit by a truck.
Right. But you won't die of old age. You won't die of natural causes.
Because, and this is the part that just blows my mind, modern science sees death as a technical glitch. That's it.
Not a metaphysical destiny.
No. Your heart stops. Pump failure. Cancer. Just rogue code.
Yeah.
And every technical problem
has a technical solution. It completely strips the mystique away, For millennia, death gave life meaning. The church, the mosque, their whole authority came from explaining it.
But now engineers are just treating it like a blown fuse.
Yeah.
And Silicon Valley is treating it like a startup opportunity. You've got Google's sub-company, Calico. Their mission is literally to solve death.
Peter Thiel said it, right? Death is a problem to be solved.
They're throwing billions at it. The idea is to treat death one decade at a time. You go in, get a gene therapy makeover, fix the glitch, and you're good for another 10 years. Rinse and repeat.
But think about the social stratification. Death was always the great equalizer. A king and a peasant, they both ended up in the ground.
Right.
The blue blood of the aristocracy was just a metaphor. But what happens if you can literally buy more life? If you can buy an upgrade that makes you smarter, longer lived?
You get a real biological caste system. But isn't that just the price of progress? Penicillin was expensive once, too. The tech will trickle down.
That's a big assumption.
Yeah, right.
And that assumes the masses are still relevant. But before we get there, we have to talk about how this happens, how we make decisions.
Yes. The shift from humans have souls to humans are algorithms. I feel like this is the hardest pill for people to swallow.
It is, because it's a direct shot at our ego. The life sciences have basically concluded that organisms are algorithms. We think our feelings, love, fear are these spiritual things, but they're just calculations.
Yeah, that baboon example he uses is perfect. You see a lion, you don't make a conscious choice to run.
Exactly. The baboon's brain is running this lightning-fast probability calculation based on data. The lion's speed, the distance to the tree.
And if the calculation says run,
you feel fear. And the baboons that calculated wrong, well, they didn't pass on their genes. We are the descendants of the best calculators.
So what happens when we build electronic algorithms that can calculate better and faster than our biochemical ones?
Well, that's where the idea of the individual starts to crumble.
This whole idea of a true self.
It's a myth, according to Harari, and this completely upends liberalism. Our whole system is built on the voter knows best, the customer is always right. Why? Because nobody else had the data to know you better than you.
But now Google knows, Facebook knows. They know I'm getting sick before I do just based on my typing speed.
Right. They know your political leanings better than you do because they see what you actually click on, not what you say you believe.
So if the whole premise of liberalism is trust the individual, and that premise is now false,
The system collapses. If an algorithm can make a better, more rational choice for you, why would you ever trust your own flawed brain?
I mean, I'm kind of already there. Harari talks about the narrating self versus the biochemical reality. My narrating self is a mess. It's easily manipulated. I might vote for someone because I liked his tie, but Google knows that every time I read his tax policy, my blood pressure spiked. So Google knows my real interests. Why not just let Google vote for me?
Because that is the end of human agency. And it starts with convenience. The Waze analogy he uses is perfect. It's a slippery slope.
Oh, I love Waze. It's a lifesaver.
But look at the progression. First, Waze is an oracle. You ask it for directions, it gives you options, you decide. You're in charge.
Yeah.
Then becomes an agent. You just say, take me home the fastest way. You stop looking at the map. You just obey the blue line. You trust it.
Yeah, I do that. If it tells me to turn into a dark alley, I just do it.
And finally, it becomes the sovereign. Imagine everyone uses it. There's a jam. The system needs to divert traffic. It can't tell everyone the best route because then that route gets clogged. So it manipulates you. It sends you on a slightly longer route to help the overall flow.
So it's not serving me anymore. It's managing me.
It's managing you. And we accept it because it's efficient. We want Amazon to know what book we want before we do. It feels like magic.
It does.
But the trade-off is autonomy. And once authority shifts from humans to algorithms, what is our economic value?
And here we are, the useless class. This is where my techno-optimism, it hits a wall hard.
Yeah.
I always say, sure, robots will drive trucks, but we'll do the creative stuff.
And Harari just dismantles that argument. He decouples intelligence from consciousness. We always thought you had to feel things to be smart.
But you don't. Intelligence is just problem solving. Consciousness is feeling. They're not the same thing.
Exactly. A chess computer doesn't enjoy winning. It's not conscious. But it will beat the grandmaster every single time.
So apply that to a doctor.
What's a doctor doing? Processing data, symptoms, test results, matching it against a huge database of diseases.
An AI can hold every medical case in history in its database. It can monitor you 24/7. It doesn't get tired or biased.
So if the AI doctor is 99% accurate and the human is 70%, that human touch suddenly looks like a liability. And this applies to art, too. If art is just about pushing the right emotional buttons.
An algorithm can learn to push those buttons better than any human. So if they can do the manual work, the cognitive work, and the creative work, what's left for us?
Potentially. Nothing. This is the useless class. And he means that in the harshest way possible. Not just unemployed, but unemployable.
Wow, that's bleak.
And the key difference this time is that the elite don't need the masses anymore. In the 20th century, a dictator needed soldiers for his army and workers for his factories.
You had leverage.
You had leverage. But in a world of drone warfare and robotic factories, you're not exploited anymore. You're just irrelevant, which is so much worse.
The Silicon Curtain falls. You have the upgraded superhumans on one side and the useless masses on the other, just pacified with drugs and VR.
It's a terrifying thought. But you have to look at the ideology driving it. And that brings us to the new religion Harari describes. Not Christianity, not humanism. It's Dataism.
Dataism. Yeah, this concept took me the longest to wrap my head around. It's not just liking statistics.
That's a worldview.
It's a whole cosmology. Dataism says the universe is nothing but a flow of data. And the value of anything, a person, a tree, a company, is just its contribution to data processing.
So a human isn't valuable because of a soul. A human is valuable only if they produce, process, and share data. We're just chips in a giant computer.
Precisely. And like any religion, it has commandments. Record, upload, share.
It's the Instagram reflex. He uses that example of the tourist and the elephant. The old humanist view was the value was the feeling inside you, the awe. But the datist asks, if you saw the elephant but didn't take a photo, didn't upload it, didn't get any likes, did it even matter? A private experience is a wasted experience. It's data that got stuck.
So the humanist asks, what do I feel? And the Datist asks, how do I convert this to data?
And that's what drives the push for the Internet of all things. Connect everything. The cars, the chickens, your pacemaker, all into one massive processing web.
Which, to a datasist, sounds like heaven, right?
Yeah.
You merge with the cosmos. You dissolve into the data stream. It's a new kind of spiritual connection.
But to a humanist, it's the apocalypse. Because in that system, humans are just inefficient emotional processors. If we can build a better chip, The system doesn't need us anymore.
He has that chilling image of the data flow as a river, and we're just a clump of earth falling into it. We dissolve. The river keeps flowing, but we, our conscious selves, are gone.
And that's the real danger. We're building a system we can't understand or control, all for the sake of efficiency. But we forgot to ask if efficiency is the only thing that matters.
Okay, so let's try to sum this up. The techno-optimist view, which I'll admit I'm drawn to, is this is the upgrade. This is Homo Deus. No more disease, no more death. We merge with the cosmos. It's evolution.
And the humanist skeptic view, my view, says we're trading meaning for power. We're handing over our authority to non-conscious algorithms. We're risking our very selves just to make the traffic flow a little smoother. We're becoming that clump of earth in the river. We're making ourselves obsolete.
It all comes down to what you value more, the human experience or the system's efficiency.
That's the question Harari leaves us with. And it's the one I really want you to sit with, he asks. What is more valuable, intelligence or consciousness? Because for the last century, we've bet everything on intelligence, on processing data.
But the future might prove that intelligence doesn't need consciousness at all. And if that's true, if the system just works better without our feelings getting in the way, where does that leave us?
It leaves us behind.
So before you check your phone again, before you post that photo or follow the GPS route, ask yourself, are you using the device or is the device processing you? Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you or your algorithm next time.